Hi guys, it's Anna here. In this video, I am going to draw an eye. I'm going to try to explain you how I do them. It's realistic. It's not hyper realistic, but it's a realistic eye. It really resembles a human eye. It's a human eye, by the way. So I start with a circle, kind of. It's not a perfect circle. There's no such thing. Only the band, but okay, we draw a circle and then you kind of make this like oval shape, like I'm doing here. Kind of make it more oval, like this sort of shape, and you keep the references of the first circle you drew, so because it's gonna help you draw the upper eyelid and the lower eyelid, as I am doing here. And that just makes your eye so much more realistic than just an oval shape hanging in there. Just making sure you draw the upper eyelid and the lower eyelid. So then you do this little corner that it's called, I think it's a caruncle. It's very weird, but I saw it on internet, and I do kind of the other part. And first of all, we're just drawing the shapes, the bigger shapes. Now I am going to try to draw the iris, which is the colored part of the eye. You can have a photo reference. I think I used one on, oh no, I don't think I did. And then I am going to draw the pupil, which is the dark part of the eye, that little dark circle that reacts to light. When there's a lot of light, the pupil is very contracted, and when so it's small, and when there's almost no light, the pupil is very wide and it's big. So you can adjust that to your drawing. Some substances that also change the pupils width. And so these are the basic shapes for drawing an eye. And then of course you wanna add the eyebrows. That's very important. And also the eyelashes. We're gonna do that in a little bit. Try to measure, but I mean there are billions of eyelashes and none is equal, so you just draw it as you feel like it, or as it's in the reference photo. But then in the beginning, in this part near the corner of the eye, we have like hairs going straight up usually, and then they start to go towards the other part of the eye. So the ones that are right above the corner of the eye are kind of pointy, they're pointing up, and the other ones are kind of laying down. They are horizontal to the eye, if you wish. And now for the eyelashes, sorry. The eyelashes, they curve and they kind of come down a little bit and then go up. They don't just go straight from the eyelid up. That's a very important thing to make it look more realistic. So when you're looking at in the front, because there are different angles for the eyelashes, right? When you're looking at right above the pupil and the iris, they kind of come below a little bit and then go up. But since they are in a straight line, you're looking at it like face to face. You don't see the angle like you do in the eyelashes that are near the corners. So all you see is just one line, right, that goes like from the iris in this case, and the pupil, sorry, and goes up. Just see what what I'm doing. It's so much better than listen to what I'm saying. It's so much easier to explain because English is not my first, it's not my mother tongue, so it's kind of it's more difficult for me to explain. That's why I think it's better for you to look at what I'm doing. And I mean, these eyelashes didn't went so well, but you know what I mean. And try not to make them all the same, and try um, to make these little triangle shape from neighbor eyelashes. See, and some of the irises have like this darker line outside, some don't, so you do what you want. But it's very beautiful when they do have this. I like it when they have this darker line outside. It really emphasizes the iris, and it makes the eye pop, because as I always say, the more the bigger the contrast, the more um, it pops, and your eye captures that, and it's attracted to that area. So right here I am trying to bring some color, which is not color because I am working in just pencil, so it's black and white. But I am trying to give some values to the sorry, to give some values to the iris. And now I am doing a little shadow over the eye. And this shadow is the shadow that is cast by the upper eyelid. Never forget that, and never forget that this how did I call it, the sclera, it's the sclera, I think it's called like that. It's the white part of the eye, and it's never white. That's another mistake. It's a mistake when you're trying to make it more realistic. Basically it's not white, it's never white, and it has some kind of shade of the color your eye, of the environment where your eye is. If it's in the sun, it's going to be somewhat of a yellow shadow, very 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 light meaning very pastel shade of yellow, and it maybe blue from the sun, but it's never white. It really is never white. There is a little bit of purple that mimics like the gray. It's better use purple than the gray, like when it's going towards the corner of the eyes, it tends to be a little darker, like it has more shade. And you could use a purple or a grayish blue to do that. In this case we are doing it black and white, so let's just use my pencil. And as you can see, I started with a very light touch, with a very light value, and I'm using exactly the same pencil, which is a 2B, and I am just putting the shapes, the simple shapes, and then I am starting to, when I feel comfortable with that line or that shape, I darken them when it's supposed to be dark. So I am trying to make the eye pop by using contrasts, and in those areas that I'm certain I want that line or that shape, I can then make the lines a little more darker. So the value is darker. As you can see, I'm doing this by my I'm not looking at the reference photo, but I know that the irises are very complex. If you want, you can go on Pinterest or on Google and you'll see the iris are absolutely complex. And so I'm just trying to mimic that with using a little uh, light touch for the shading, and then some lines or art lines for the details, those little details that the irises have. So right now I'm shading where there should be shade, like near the corners and near the eyelids. They always cast a little shadow. And then in these corners there are usually little bits of skin, and in the interior corner, like near the nose, usually it's kind of pink or rosy. So there's that. You can have that when you're using color. See, I'm just trying to get rid of that pure white of the paper, because that's not natural. And immediately you start noticing that the eye is kind of inside of the lids. And then it's about what you want to do and your photo reference maybe, and you start seeing an eye. Then it's kind of all about details and what you want to do with it. I haven't done the lower lashes yet. Probably gonna do them now. So there's a little line there that you can see. It's usually lighter, and it's where the skin is open, and that's what I'm trying to do here, like to make it lighter. There's a little, well, it's the skin, the opening, and then the eyelashes come from there. Usually the upper eyelashes, we don't see that, mainly in women, because the eyeliners and stuff, and rímel, I don't know what you call it. Rímel. Mascara, you call it mascara. Sometimes those are black because and you really don't see it. The lower one, the lower part, you usually see it better. And now I kind of mess up the upper eyelashes a little bit. So, but you get what I mean. So it was better before, and it's just it gets too busy. Less is more in this case, and also the upper eyelashes are always bigger than the lower eyelashes usually, and they are kind of bigger towards the that hand that I'm doing now. So near the ear, towards the ear, that corner, that because we've all seen like makeups and whatnot. But if you pay attention, the eyelashes in this area that I'm drawing now are usually longer, and that's what I'm not doing here. I'm not making them a little longer, and it's kind of annoying me a little bit. But then you can, mainly if you're drawing in pencil, you can always readjust that. I wasn't happy with these lashes, but anyway, so now I am. And if you notice that, and maybe, and sometimes in makeup videos, they really make this line very dark, and you kind of think, oh, it's not that dark, but it is. It is. And in the corner, then it always depends on the I'm darkening these corners because I mean the eyelashes and the rotation of the eye would make this part darker. Usually the lighter part is this in the center of the upper eyelid. Okay, but it kind of depends where the light's coming, and then If you have a photo reference, that's what you're gonna refer to. That's all observation then. I'm just trying like to break down the eye parts so it doesn't look so complex, because when I started doing it, it was just like, oh my god, it's so difficult. Wow, how they do. And then I started looking at videos. I mean, they weren't, I think I saw one or two that explained everything, and I did the exercise too. And then once you understand the anatomy of the eye and what you should do, then you can do any eye, and then you can throw color and make really interesting things with it. So the corners are kind of darker, and that's what I'm doing here. And it goes darker towards that crease of the eyelid, the upper eyelid. And that's what I'm doing. And you have to be patient. You have to be patient and just use your pencil very lightly at first, and then if you need, you go back and you make another layer. It's all about layering, and then, well, making shapes, layering and seeing where is darker and where is lighter, the value, and just trying to achieve it. It's it's just that. And then observation is just look at the reference photo. There's billions in Pinterest, so it's very very easy for you to do that and to get the reference. So right now, usually the nose is on the left part of the drawing, so there's a bit of shading there, but once again, it always depends on the light. Although it's a part that it really is like, how do I say that? It's deeper in the face. It's not like that. It's like it's not protruding, so there's always shadow, you know. It's looking like an eye now. Everyone would tell you, "Oh, this is an eye," and probably most of them would say, "Oh, it's very good. Oh, where'd you learn to?" And it's not that much. It's not that big of a deal if you go step by step. Of course, you can do this. You can do this absolutely. Now, what I'm doing, I'm kind of. I mean, the eyebrows are kind of just kind of 2D, and I'm trying to make a little volume using a little bit of shading underneath, so it looks like they have more volume. I'm trying to get them out of the paper and just try to see where the shape is going and how the little hairs are going. Just try to, by this point you can call it done. I'm just trying to do a little more on the eyebrows, but you can kind of call it done by now. So I believe the rest of the video just me tweaking here and there. And make sure you step backwards and try to see how the drawing is going, or record it or take a picture. It's very good to take a picture. For me, it works very well. um, and try to see what you'd like to change. But as I told you, this one is like, it doesn't have a photo reference. It's not trying to be anything. So yeah, now I'm just tweaking and making the shadows more evident, but it's pretty much it. So I want you guys to give it a try. If you always wanted to draw an eye, a realistic eye, and thought that you couldn't, I want you to look at this video and try to draw it. Okay, I made it like real-time video really slowly. I don't know if my explanations were perfect, but since you can see what I'm doing, I really wish you would give it a try, and maybe you would impress yourself. Oh, and in this corner it was just too bright, so I'm trying to tone that down because my eye was getting attracted there. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you draw a lot of eyes, and I hope you're happy with the results. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe and make a lot of art. Bye bye.